Doom is arguably one of the most popular video game franchises ever made. Doom Guy has become a pinnacle of the first-person shooter genre. Not only that, but Doom itself as a game is actually genuinely, truly fun. There's no insane strategy required. Doom is literally the type of game where you just want to shoot stuff and you get a chance to do just that. Doom has evolved a ton since it first released in the 1990s. One of the earliest iterations of Doom is called Doom 64, which is named Doom 64 not because there were 63 other Doom games before, but because Doom 64 actually released for the Nintendo 64. I will not be making a joke about the Nintendo console name. So you see, I decided to rip and tear my way over to Doom 64 just to make this video and show you all just how amazing video games were in 1997. No, seriously though, this looks a lot nicer for a game made in 1997 than I thought it would. Anyways, fasten your seatbelts, grab some popcorn or caramels, or even some good old-fashioned jalapeno poppers, and get ready to revisit Doom 64 25 years after it was first released. Doom 64 is actually the third Doom game in the series, and it was developed by Midway Games. According to the most factually reliant source on the internet, Wikipedia, Doom 64 gained a cult following of fans who couldn't get enough of ripping and tearing the way Doom 64 allowed them to. All jokes aside though, Doom 64 is genuinely a pretty fun game. It does what it advertises. You spawn in and just start killing demons and other creatures left and right for the duration of the game, and that's pretty much it. I was actually surprised to see just how complicated this game could get though. I realized quickly in the beginning that this game actually requires you to think. You didn't really get told what to do, what rooms to go into, and how to kill things. It just gave you a shotgun and tossed you, the infant, into the boiling bathwaters of hell. To get down to serious business though, Doom 64 has an interesting narrative premise. After the Doom Marine successfully thwarts Hell, a planetary policy is established to quarantine UAC research installations that have apocalyptic levels of radiation. The installations were basically abandoned, but one suddenly and mysteriously sends a message back to Earth. Since nobody can do it but the Marine, he's sent in as a one-man wrecking machine to kill off all the demons from Hell. Unfortunately, the demons had planned for this and lured him back to Hell. Still, the demons are no match for a Marine's rage and they cannot stop him. The game actually has a pretty sad ending though. The Marine decides that he can't return to normal life after all his encounters with demons, so he stays in Hell to make sure no other demon gets out of Hell again. Sad as it is, I actually like how it ended. It showed just how dedicated the Marine was to his job and to protecting the people of Earth. Not only that, but it also showed just how powerful the will of humans can be when they have to get things done. Really, I think the Marine embodies the concept of where there's a will, there's a way. Doom 64 actually has a pretty basic gameplay design structure. There are 28 total story levels and 4 secret levels. Players kill demons, collect keys, unlock doors, and must survive traps along the way. I played the newer Doom games like Doom Eternal and Doom from 2016, and I found that I was able to surprisingly enjoy Doom 64 just as much. Yeah, it's definitely dated and it's nowhere near as pretty or graphically nice as the new Doom games, but Doom 64 somehow has a charm to it that I think is pretty nostalgic. I often like to play old games and try to imagine what people like my mom had to play when she was young, which may sound funny, but to me it's actually interesting. It's almost like a blast to the past. Maybe it's just me, but I absolutely love seeing things from generations before me and imagining how it must have been to interact with them. Imagine living in a world where technology is so limited, but you suddenly have things like video games. That would have been such a cool advancement to have witnessed. Doom 64 provided an experience that I think is relatively fun compared to a lot of games being released nowadays. As someone that does greatly enjoy first-person shooter titles, I can see why Doom is considered the hallmark of the genre. It created a lot of unique differentiation points for itself compared to other shooter games, and it also had the element of suspense and fun. When you opened a door, you didn't have any idea what was waiting for you. You had to actually use different weapons to your advantage. Some demons were best killed with chainsaws and others were best killed with a classic shotgun. I did have to restart some levels a few times because I genuinely had no clue where I was going at some parts, but once you figure it out, it feels really accomplishing. There's a sort of puzzle-like structure to some of the levels. Some doors and some hatches lead to places you need to go, others lead to traps, and it's really all a mystery. In a way, Doom 64 represents the idea of simplicity and complexity all in one video game. The premise of the game is simple, and the gameplay is also pretty simple. use your weapons, kill demons, advance through the story. However, there are elements and twists thrown in throughout the game that do change the way you interact. Graphically for its time, Doom 64 was actually one of the best looking games out there. Yeah, sure, by our modern graphical standards it's not advanced, but it feels like an arcade game in the best way possible. It doesn't need to look pretty and polished by modern standards. Most arcade games do not look pretty and polished at all. However, they're fun, and I think that's what matters the most. I think a lot of games have unfortunately lost out on the idea of just being fun. A lot of games have lost out on the passion of making them fun experiences for the player. We're so focused on superficial things, I think that it's important to sit back and play a game that's just fun. It's not insane, it's not the most advanced thing on the planet, it's fun. If you get a chance to play Doom 64, you should play it. I really think Doom 64 is truly a great game with a lot going for it. Don't expect it to look like Horizon Forbidden West or anything insane like that, but expect it to just be rip and tear awesomeness. Thanks for tuning into DZSH Gaming. If you enjoyed that video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe with notifications set to all. Let us know if you've played Doom 64 or are planning on playing it and what your thoughts are in the comments below. Check out our website for gaming news, entertainment, and more. The links to everything are in the description below.